Hello! In this Unity tutorial, we're going to start talking about sound. So in Unity, we add sound via an audio source. So let's go ahead and get started. I like to create an empty game object. So we'll go game object, create empty, and then in the hierarchy on the left side of your screen, go ahead and select on the empty game object and press F2 on your keyboard, F2 function key. That will prompt you to rename it. Let's call this background music. Alright, so with that renamed to background music, let's go ahead and add an audio source to this empty game object. With it selected in the hierarchy on the left, in the inspector on the right hand side, go ahead and select the Add Component button. In the search bar, go ahead and search for audio. There will be a bunch of options here. The only one that we are concerned with at the moment is the audio source, second from the bottom. The audio component is rather large, but we're going to go ahead and talk through some of the most prominent features that it offers. One of the most important things, of course, is the actual audio clip itself. So let's actually go ahead and gather one together. I'm going to go ahead and open up the internet browser, and there are two websites that I like to get sounds from. One of them is freesound.org. This has thousands upon thousands of sounds submitted from users like you that you can download. You will have to have an account. To create an account, it is free, though. I personally have one, and they don't spam your email with anything. It's just a very nice resource that I wanted to make you aware of. The second one is Incompetech. If you go here, he has royalty-free music. If you select on that, you can go and take a look at any of the genres that he has. So let me go ahead and click on this one, for example. And you can see all of the different clips and songs that he has. And you can actually go ahead and download any of these. So for example, we can preview it. I don't know if you can hear that or not. That would be awkward if you didn't. But let's go ahead and download that. So we'll click the download button. Now, he does offer his music for free, but he does require you to attribute him, which of course is a no-brainer. If we're going to take some music that we got off the internet, you always want to make sure to attribute your artists and give them the proper credit in the resources slide inside of Unity. So we'll go ahead and choose the free license, and you'll see that he says you have to make the attribution exactly like this. So he makes it perfect for you. You can actually just copy and paste and throw it right into the Unity scene. We'll make sure to do that, but what we're going to do is go ahead and agree to these terms, and then it will automatically start downloading that. So you can see it will download right there, and then I'll jump back in once that's done. Okay, now that that's downloaded, let's go ahead and locate it in our File Explorer. I'm going to go ahead and copy this here, and let's go ahead and actually drag it directly into Unity. So we'll go ahead and go just like that. Perfect. So now that this is inside of Unity, what we're going to be able to do is drag it into the audio source. So with the sound clip in your assets folder, click, hold, and drag this sound clip into the audio clip slot on the audio source. Just be sure to have your background music selected in the hierarchy to be able to view this in the inspector. Okay. The most Let's talk about a few of the most important properties. So here we have, for example, the play on awake. This is going to play the sound when the scene actually starts, and for the purpose of this video, that's what we want. If you would like the song to loop once it is finished, you can go ahead and check this box here. Another important one is the volume, how loud you actually want it to be. It's really nice because you can actually control this via script, so you can make it soft at some points and loud at other points. It's at a default value of 1. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. And the other ones you can take a look at and read a little bit more about if you hover over with your mouse, but those are not as important as actually getting the audio clip in there set up to play. Now, at the bottom here, we do have the 3D sound settings. If you drop that down, you'll actually see what looks like complex stuff here, but it's actually some really amazing stuff. This is for 3D sound settings, so we are currently in a 2D Unity project. Now you can have audio sources, of course, in a 2D or a 3D project. The type of project doesn't matter. But in more of a 3D environment, we have 3D sound settings, and this is going to be relevant. For example, let's say you have a campfire, and as you start approaching the campfire, you start to hear the crackling of the fire. It gets louder and louder as you get closer to it. That's what 3D sound settings is essentially doing. Right now we're in a 2D environment, so we're not really using this too much. You can actually see here with the spatial blend, we have it on the 2D marker. If we wanted to use the 3D sound, we would drag this all the way to the 3D. And then in the 3D sound settings, just to talk about it a little bit more, you can select the type of roll-off. So here we have a logarithmic roll-off, which means it's going to be loud, and then up to a certain point it's suddenly going to drop off. I usually choose, if you drop down here, the linear roll-off. So the further you get away, the quieter it's going to be. That's a little bit more of a natural type of thing. And then you can set the max distance from 1 unit to 500 units, where a unit is approximately a meter inside of Unity. We talk about this a little bit more in our advanced Unity tutorials, specifically when we talk about terrain generation and natural ambiance. Take a look for that video on our channel. That one goes into 3D sound settings with colliders and triggers as well. So for example, if a player is walking around and they walk to a certain area and you want a sound to play, that's something that we can control via a script using an audio source. So what we should be able to do now is if we click play, we can hear that play, and that'll play and it will repeat once it's finished. There are going to be some more advanced tutorials, and I encourage you to check out the button navigation tutorial. Specifically, that one is a UI tutorial that's going to show you how to set up a button on the UI that can do things such as switch scenes inside of Unity, but it also shows an example of how to play music when a button is pressed. This is just really nice to be able to get background music into your scene, but to do more advanced stuff, please take a look at that video and subsequent videos. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section or reach out to your instructor for further questions. Thank you very much.